modest bar, which most of the villagers could afford to patronize, where fishermen would gather and swap gossip known as hello. Some came to relax with a cigar or two. One night at the Martello, after fishing hours, when skies were lowering, but a majority of the bar patrons were feeling no pain, a messenger rushed in to warn everyone of an imminent redskin raid. Military defense being then exclusively a man's field. Most of the barflies plodded or staggered to Fort Star on the western point. The constable harnessed his horse to the paddy wagon, which he called his law cart. At the top of the hill, they raised their fists and shouted, "Up and Adams!" Someone, I don't know who, sneezed. Was she? said that a yellow were in the direction of Cedar Island. A yellow were in the direction of Cedar Island. A repetitious screeching gave me the false impression that danger was close. Fear continued to stalk my outside and kept hassling her. Over and over, the kids called out, "What's that?" No redskins were there, and the baby was the only casualty. The official record lends credibility to the tale. It was indeed an ill wind that brought those fearful sounds to her ears, and it's hard to McGill winds blow any good. A really great period started with the Reverend John Tuck's ordination and installation in 1732. He was the first of the long line of ministers at the Shoals to have been ordained by the Central Body of American Congregationalists. He was a Harvard graduate. He had studied medicine as well as theology. Two basic characteristics made him almost unique among the island residents. He could read and write. And he performed both functions for his parishioners on call. He was a man of compassion, and he often said, "Whatever grippeth someone, grippeth me likewise." He kept all of his medical patients comfortable with Lysax liquid linen. It is rumored that Mr. Tuck, in his role as physician, was once visited by a young woman in a leotard. With a perfectly angelic Craig. A pleasant, greedy manner, and long, grady hair, whose haunting beauty was marred only by a single pimple on her left cheek. Your poor friend brought it to the good doctor. He brought it to the good doctor, saying, "I dearly love her, but I want her